So a couple of weeks ago, I sat down with my friend David and we talked about how to utilize data to improve your business KPIs. And more importantly, what I learned from working with over 200 e-commerce brands that are doing 8 and 9 figures, some of them even billion-dollar companies. And basically in this video, I've made a curated selection of the best inputs that I gave in this podcast to you. How to collect data, how to analyze KPIs, and how to come up with actionable steps in terms of improving those KPIs. So enjoy this video.
Like, you can look at what is working in so many different areas, and then you can just apply the same methodologies to whatever business that you're in, right? So for you doing like CRO and like doing advertising and stuff, I realized that you can use the same principles for e-commerce advertising in other types of advertising, because it's all based on the fundamentals of psychology. How did you learn that, and how did you figure that out?
I feel like the fundamentals in business are oftentimes super similar. In the beginning, like the big needle mover is always understanding like how people work, right? Like the psychology aspect of it. Once you've like kind of digested that and really understood, like, okay, this is the psychology of how people buy something. This is how the psychology of how people consume stuff. And this is the psychology, or like what's happening from the psychological perspective, like in their brain or like emotionally, of how they buy something. Then you can apply that to sales calls, then you can apply that to copywriting, to landing pages, conversion optimization, whatever it is.
A lot of people, they don't differentiate marketing from advertising, and even psychology from marketing. Like, brand and marketing are very important, but when you get into the weeds with CRO and the things that you do, and how you guys do it, like the secret sauce behind what it is that you guys do, most of it is actually data. And a lot of people don't realize that advertising and CRO and optimization and business as a whole is based on two things. It's psychology and data. And so if you can create a system where, okay, you can, so the marketing, where you funnel people in, the marketing and the brand and everything like that, when you actually get into the business backend, you have to be very data driven, and you have to be very technical, because if you can't track anything, you can't measure it. And what I feel like a lot of beginners specifically fail to understand is that in order to run a marketing agency, you have to learn marketing and be good at marketing, but you also have to understand the numbers of the business.
If you like what you're seeing in this video, then listen up. I have a 9-hour course with training materials and standard operating procedures that I've condensed into a 70-minute training video, which is not publicly available. If you want to access this training videos with all of the SOPs and all of the processes that we follow in our agency with the clients that we work with, then click on the link in the description, put in your email address so I can send the training and send the video to you. We always work with data, like basically like the first thing we always did in the onboarding was look at data, right? And data is like, it's often thrown around as a buzzword, but it's basically just like getting into the weeds, or like talking to customers, reading testimonials, reading reviews, going into forums, reading comments under YouTube videos. Sometimes get on phone with customers and just ask them a bunch of stuff, right? And those are all like really valuable data points, right? So that's like one big chunk of data that we always like to look at, just because I don't want to like come up with what the customer's problems are. I just want to ask them, or I just want them to give me the answer, because they will give me a better answer that I could come up with, right? And they will have certain words and certain slang and certain pain points that I couldn't even think of, and that's super valuable. And then the second thing, and especially for everything like website stuff, there's so much crazy stuff you can track, right? Like if you go on Amazon and you're shopping on there for 10 minutes and you buy a product, then Amazon will have a 10-minute screen recording of everything that you did. And people don't really notice, but like all of the big brands do this. Like, think of it as like sharing your screen in Zoom meeting, and like I get to see everything that you're doing online. Like with all of the big brands, we install softwares like this so we can understand like how people are interacting with the page, where they click, what they read, what they scroll, what pages they visit, all of that crazy stuff, right? And it's so much interesting and valuable data. And then you can also, based on all of that, like how they interact with the page and the psychology aspect of it, come up with ideas on how to iterate, on how to fine-tune the customer journey, on how to make a better offer. Because let's say they always scroll past the product description, right? maybe it's boring, maybe the sales copy isn't written that great, then you have a first idea to look at that section specifically. And then maybe from the customer reviews, you will find certain pain points. And then an idea could be like, okay, maybe we should optimize the product description, write better sales copy, and utilize all of the pain points that we found in the reviews, right? And that's basically like the process that you just go through over and over again to come up with all of these ideas on how to like make a better website, or like on how to do CRO for the website.
I see. So it's really the point that I get from that, which I think is very important, is so you guys are looking for not only what the customer does, but what they don't do. And so testing on both sides. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
If you enjoyed this podcast and the actionable tips around data intelligence and how to analyze data and KPIs, then make sure to click on this YouTube video that I'm going to link in the description and also on screen now, where I basically go through the exact step-by-step process of how we collect data, of how we analyze data, and how we come up with data-driven solutions to impact the website KPIs, improve conversion rate, and improve average order value.